Hi friends, welcome to Love Good Lane. My name is Matthew. Today we're in the kitchen and I thought we would make some lasagna. Who doesn't love lasagna? I don't remember where I got this recipe, but I got it out of some magazine about 8 to 10 years ago, and I've been using it ever since. It's a good sort of multi-purpose lasagna because you can switch out what meat you use, or you could omit the meat and saute or roast up some vegetables and make it a veggie lasagna. I've tried all of those things. Today I'm going to be making the lasagna with some ground pork, but you could certainly use ground sausage. Some Italian sausage would be really good. I've used beef for sure, or a combination of things. You could even do a kitchen sink style thing where if you have a little bit of this and a little bit of that meat left over, just put them together, put them in the lasagna. It's really good. So don't worry about trying to write down the ingredients or the steps. I'll put the recipe in the description box down below. So if you're interested in trying it, you can just check there for all of those things. So yeah, I'm going to do things a little bit differently today. I'm going to take you over with me to the stove so we can get the sauce going and also brown up the meat. So I'll be back in a second. We'll be over there. Okay, so I have my Dutch oven here, and you could certainly use a pan, like you could use a pan like this, but I like to use a pot or a Dutch oven like this. The higher sides just make it a little bit less splashy, as sometimes we can get when we're making a sauce. So I'm going to get this going because it's going to take a few minutes for it to come up to temperature. We're going to put a few tablespoons of olive oil into the pan. And then I've already chopped up one medium-size yellow onion. So we're going, once this heats up, we're going to put that in and saute it. And I have a good amount of garlic here. And I put mine through my garlic press, but you could certainly mince it or chop it finely. This is, I think, at least 6 cloves of garlic. It might be more than that, but it will be yummy. While we're waiting for this to heat up, I'm going to brown the meat in this pan. And let's see, I can show you what I'm using. It's a pork sausage, and it's 1 pound. So that's what we're going to brown up in there. So I might as well get that going as well. Okay. And let's see which, I think, use the spoon. I'm going to need my chopper for over there. I will get this cute little apple spoon rest. My friend April got that for me. Which do I want to use for maybe this one, my trusty Christmas spoon that I talked about in a recent video that I use all year round, that I got from my friend Lori. Okay, when this is heated up and we've sauteed the onion and then the garlic, we're going to add in a 6-ounce can of tomato paste, which I might as well get the spoon out for now. I like to use that size spoon for those. Then I have 2 28-ounce cans of crushed tomatoes. We've got 2 teaspoons of sugar and a teaspoon of salt that we're going to put in there. And then I think I have it over here. This is chopped up fresh basil. The original recipe said to use a cup of fresh basil. That's a lot of basil, and if it's not in season, like when I'm filming this, we're in the middle of winter, and those packages of fresh basil that you can get at the grocery store, they're kind of pricey, and there certainly is not a cup in there. But let me look over here. I might have... We do. I do have some of this in the fridge. It's freeze-dried basil. So we'll put some of that in with that. Why not? Be good. Okay, I think that's heating up nicely. We're going to put in our onion so we can get that going. We don't need to brown the onion, but we want to cook it until it's nice and soft and translucent. Pan is definitely hot now. Might add a touch more olive oil. Yum, it smells good already. Now I will say that this lasagna, it tastes the best when you make it a day ahead. So when you're eating it the next day. I don't know what that is. That tends to be the case with certain dishes. They just taste better. They kind of come together the next day. But if you can, like today we're going to eat this for dinner. This is earlier in the day. I'm going to make it, and that can work too. But at the very least, know that if you're going to make it like right before dinner, you want to allow enough time for it to cool and sort of congeal. I'd say for at least an hour before you cut into it. And that way you can get it out of the pan. It'll be nice, clean slices. If you try to cut into it when it's hot, it's just going to kind of ooze all over. I mean, you can do it, but it'll still taste good. But logistically, it's going to give you some problems. So that's my recommendation. If you can, a day ahead is great. You could even make it one day and then the next day bake it off. That would be good too. Or like I said, if you are wanting to eat it the same day or for the same meal that you're cooking it, that's fine, but allow enough time for it to cool. Okay, now we're going to put in our garlic. That didn't take long at all. Now, you have to be careful because, as you probably know, garlic can burn really easily. So we're not going to cook that for very long before we add in other ingredients. We just want to kind of get the raw garlic thing out of there. Oh gosh, onions and garlic sauteing, it smells so good. Okay, next up we're going to put in our tomato paste. I do appreciate that this recipe uses a whole can. I've talked about that before. It's annoying when you have a recipe that uses a partial can of tomato paste. It's like, well, okay. Then what do we do with the rest? And I know they have tomato paste in tubes now, which is handy, but you know my favorite grocery store is Aldi, and they don't have the tubes. Anyway, okay, we need to stir that around. Work that into the onions and garlic. This is a teaspoon of salt and 2 teaspoons of sugar. I'm going to put that in. Now we'll add in our tomatoes. Trying to do this left-handed, but I am not left-handed. So let's switch it around. Second one. And then this is about a half cup of water. The original recipe called for a lot more than that, but I found that it made the sauce and the lasagna too soupy. So I cut down on the water. But if you like a thinner sauce, then I would double that and do more like a cup to a cup and a half of the water. Okay, so I'm just stirring that in, and I put in the basil, and we're going to put in some of this because that's probably maybe 2 teaspoons of the freeze-dried basil. Okay. Smells delicious. Okay, I'm going to turn this down. And I'm going to offset the lid so we don't steam it. We're going to let that go. And then in this pan, we're going to brown up our meat. Pan is nice and hot. Don't want to leave any goodies in there. Okay, that's fine. I'll use my chopper here. I might not even need it. These are... Now for the sauce, it says to let that simmer for a couple of hours. Oftentimes, I don't have time for all that. I think if you have about 20 minutes, that's fine. Or I've also done it where I'm kind of in a rush to get things going, and so I just use it right away to assemble the lasagna, and it's still been good. Kind of, if you're able to let it simmer for longer, it does bring out that nice long cooked roasty flavor, but it depends on what we got going on that day, right? Sometimes we can't. We gotta keep moving. For this lasagna, I mentioned that you can use different meats. This is ground pork. I often use ground sausage. I certainly have made it with beef. But one combination that is really particularly tasty is to use a combo of beef and sausage. If you were going to do that, I would do about a half a pound of each. We don't have to go nuts with this, but we're just looking to cook it so there's no more pink left in the sausage. Okay, I think that's good. We can turn that down. Okay, give me a second. I'm going to bring you back over here because we'll work on the feeling. Feeling? That too. The filling real quick. Okay, so as far as noodles go, I'm going to flip this guy over. I have a 13 by 9 pan. I put my lasagna noodles in the pan. These are the oven ready noodles, but I've actually done the same exact thing with the traditional lasagna noodles and it works out fine. I know you don't, with the oven ready noodles, you don't have to do this step, but I just do it and it's just what I do. And I haven't had a problem. It's always been great. But I filled it with boiling water and then I just let them sit in there for at least 20 minutes. It's been a little longer than that. But that way the noodles soften, but they're not cooked all the way. They'll finish cooking when we bake the lasagna. But that way we ensure that there's no shenanigans with undercooked noodles. You could, if you want to, boil the traditional noodles separately and then assemble the lasagna, but you don't have to. It'll work out the same, so why bother with that step? But that's just my opinion. Okay, so for our filling, we're going to use what is this? This is a 15-ounce carton of ricotta cheese, and this always happens. So they're over here. The tabby do rips off, and I have to get in here a different way. That's all right. I need to get a spoon. That'll do. Ooh, while I'm thinking of it, let's get our oven preheating to 350. There we go. Now I have a teaspoon of dried basil, and then I've got a little under a teaspoon of salt and some pepper, about a half teaspoon of pepper. Put that in, along with a beaten egg. Mix that up. The original recipe didn't call for any salt and pepper in the filling mixture, but I found it to be a little bland. So I add just a little bit, not a lot, just a little bit of salt and pepper, just to liven things up. Stirring that up. Okay. We're going to add in about a cup of shredded mozzarella. Sorry, I couldn't get the bag out there. Yeah, this is about a cup in there. Use that. Just dump that in. Give that a stir. Yum. Okay, and then the other thing we're going to use is some sliced provolone. I actually I'm not going to have quite enough, so I had a package of mozzarella, sliced mozzarella. We're going to use that to supplement instead. But we're going to use those. On top, we'll use some shredded Parmesan and a little more of the shredded mozzarella. Let me move this out of the way. But I'll be back in a second, and we're going to assemble our lasagna. Okay, so this is a deep dish Pyrex glass 13x9 baking dish. I would very much recommend that if you don't have a deep dish and you have a traditional 13x9 pan, that you only do 2 of the later. I'm having trouble talking today. 2 of the layers rather than 3 layers, because it's not going to want to fit in the pan, and then you're definitely going to have spillage and bubble over. So, but this was also a gift from my friend April. We're going to use the deep dish pan today. We want to take a little bit of our sauce. Let me move it over. And we're going to put a little bit in the bottom. I'm spreading it out a little bit. You know what? I think it might be nice if I bring you in closer. Hang on. There. You can see what I'm doing a little bit better. Although you probably have done a lasagna before. That's another thing I can mention. Is this a recipe from my Sicilian great-grandmother? No. But it's a very good lasagna. And maybe there are some parts of this, or a step, or an ingredient, or something that would be of interest to you that you want to add to your lasagna. You know, we borrow and get ideas from all over. So all that to say that it's an excellent lasagna if you're looking for a recipe, or maybe you're just looking for some ideas. Okay, I'm going to put a layer of our noodles. Actually, I'm going to overlap them just a little bit, because 3 is going to be just barely not enough. But if we don't overlap, 4 isn't going to do it. Okay, that looks good. And this is just my OCD-ness, but do you see how here on the side we have just a little bit of a gap where there's no noodle? When I do the next layer of noodles, I'm going to start them here so that the gap is on the opposite side. So we kind of even things out. I know. The things that go on in my brain. Now we're going to put half of our filling mixture. There's the oven letting us know that it's preheated. Okay, now I'm just going to use I have to be careful a little bit. You don't mess up all your noodles. Spread it out. A skosh. It's fine. Now we're going to do our sliced cheese. I think let's put a little strip of cheese there on the side. And now I need to get our meat because that'll go next. There, that looks good. I wrote down the order of the layers. Let me check, make sure I'm doing what I thought I was doing. I remembered, just making sure. Okay, now we're gonna, oh, got a little piece there. Now we're gonna repeat the layers. Now, remember what I said, the gap was over here, so I'm gonna start the noodles on this side this time. Also, these pans taper at the bottom a little bit, so it's a little wider at the top. So if our gap is big, which it looks like it's starting to get bigger, I might cut a piece of noodle and put it over there. So these noodles are flexible, but they're not cooked all the way. And I think that that's going to work out just perfect. And let's kind of do a rough measure here where we'd want to cut it off. Suppose I could use a knife, but just using my fingers. Okay. Then I'm going to give it a little press down here. Okay. We're going to put the rest of our filling. Again, spreading it out. Who doesn't love lasagna? I mean, there might be certain kinds that people like or don't like, but in general, I've never met anyone that was like, ooh, no. No thanks on the lasagna. I don't want to leave any goodies on the spoon. Okay, now we need some more of our sliced cheese. Use some fill in here. Halvesies. Sure. It'll be real cheesy, but that's how we like it. Again, I'm just going to give it a gentle push down here so that our layers are no gaps. The rest of our meat. Oh, you know what? Well, it's okay. We'll do it on top of here. I think I was supposed to start with some more sauce, but we'll add it in. It's all going to kind of bake together, so we'll be okay. The spoon isn't real scoopy. I suppose I should have used a different spoon to get the meat out of here. A little more. Do some more sauce now. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. That garlic and the basil. Yeah. Now we do want to make sure that we've got saucy business kind of evenly spread, because remember that we're going to finish cooking the noodles here in this pan as it all bakes in the oven. So if you have dry spots where there's no sauce, we could run into some noodle trouble. Okay, that's good. Now we're going to do another layer, but this layer is going to be a little different. Measure again. Okay. I've got a couple of the slices of cheese left. I'm going to kind of dot those. Oh, do I have any? Let's see if I have any more. I do. I do have some more cheese. It's the mozzarella. It's not the provolone, but we've got it, so let's use it. Oh, I think slippery fingers. There we go. One more. Cut it in half. There. Okay. We're going to top it off with more sauce. Now it's possible that you won't use all of your sauce here, but I oftentimes like to serve the lasagna, the sliced lasagna, with a little extra sauce on top or on the side, if people prefer. So I'm not doing a real thick layer of sauce, but again, just enough that we're covering. You don't want a lot of noodle exposed, because then it's going to be dried out. Okay, next up, we're going to sprinkle it with grated Parmesan. I might need to open a new container. We'll see. where we get with this one. Well, that's going to work out perfectly, I think. Ta-da! Well, that was great. Okay, and then I have another package of shredded mozzarella. Not having good luck with my, opening my packages today. Sprinkle some of this on. Also, if you're using the traditional size 13 by 9 pan, like not the deep dish, I recommend that when you put it in the oven, you put it on a cookie sheet or a sheet pan, something like that, because you want it to come to a bubble. So you're going to bake it for about an hour, give or take. And in that process, it's probably going to bubble. Oop, I made a little sauce boo-boo there. Might as well clean that up. And there we go. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? So we're going to put it into our 350 oven, and it's going to bake for about an hour until it's bubbly and it's cooked and heated all the way through, and then we'll be back. All right. Okay, we're back. The lasagna baked for about an hour, and it has been about an hour and a half, maybe closer to 2 hours that it's been out of the oven, sort of setting up. It's still pretty warm, but let's see if we can get a nice slice out of here so you can see it, and maybe we'll do a quick little taste test. So I'm just going to run a knife along the edge here. And then slice into the layers. Oh my gosh, this looks good. And it smells good. So far, so good. Okay, I think I got through pretty well. I've got a smaller spatula because I thought maybe that would be better than trying to use a larger or wider spatula, I should say. Oh, cheesy. Had some cheese explosion. That's okay. Oh my gosh. Yes, please. Oh, look at that. Yum-y. See all the beautiful layers. Okay, let's... Actually, yes. Maybe I'll take a little bite from in there. Grabbed a fork. See if I can get some of all the layers. Here we go. It's so good. Good ratio of seasonings and sauce with the layers. The meat is tasty, but it's not overpowering. Cheesy. This is a winner. If you're looking for a good lasagna recipe, this is the one to try. Or maybe there are some tips and tricks within this that you can apply to your favorite recipe. So, let me know if you have questions or comments. I'd love to hear from you. Give this video a thumbs up. If you enjoyed cooking with me today, subscribe if you haven't. It's free and it does help out my channel. I do appreciate that. So until next time, have a great day and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.